Hey everyone, this is Hugo Stiglitz, and I'm going to showcase Humankind. It is an open dev right now, and basically a closed beta, though you just had to sign up to join it, and I was lucky enough to get an invite, so I figured I'd show you what it is. I've played through all these scenarios, and I am in love with the game, and really excited to see what it will look like when the game's finished, because it's still a work in progress, obviously. But these scenarios are really cool, and I think you have to make a decision for yourself, but I have had more fun playing it than I did with Civ. I think it's taken something like Civ 6 and, well, the same type of game, right, a 4X game, and really, well, just added a lot to it. There's a lot more elements, and I'd like to show that in probably two parts. This is the first scenario, which is Towers of Babylon. It just focuses on exploration. And so I've gone through it a few times, and I figured you could see, you know, a bit of what it's like. I think the early game will be similar to this when the final game comes out, but I think this is simplified. I don't think there's any other civilizations in it. But our objective here is to grow Babylon, explore its environment, and settle new lands. Expand and fortify the city. The fate of Babylon is in your hands. So, yeah, so there's going to be a few of these that pop up talking about resources. There's strategic resources and luxury resources, similar to Civ 6 if you played that. And in fact, right here, specifically, is the luxury resource. You can tell by it being gold. And those have specific yields. And if we... Nope, sorry, this one. We can see the yields of the tiles. And the way those yields are worked is a little different. Basically, if you have, as far as I understand it, you have the city center and then you have extensions. Whatever the extensions are on, and then what they're next to is what the city works. Even though we only have a population of 1, we're still working all these tiles, as far as I understand it. And we're focused on growth. However, we could move this over, but we would like to continue to grow. The way it works, though, is there's different phases. It looks like there's, basically you can either have growth, stagnation, or super growth, and that just depends on how much food you're getting per turn, similar to other things. Here, this is a little different. This is the build queue. These hex tiles they're hexes because they'll go onto the actual map. They are extensions, like the Maker's Quarter. And then these are infrastructures which help improve, just like the general, kind of like the monument in Civ 6, right? It just gives you some yields or helps some extensions without it just kind of goes into the city center. So, this is the tech tree. Really, really cool. And I think what I've noticed is that it really helps to go for resources. And I think I'm actually going to go for city defense because I want to get to copper. And that's because I've explored this map before, and I'm pretty sure there's copper right here. So it's kind of cheating, but... Alright, so we have these two pathfinders, and we can split them up. And this is something we can go grab with one of our pathfinders. Gives us 5 science, which is pretty cool. Here's the copper. And there's another little event here. Or, not event, curiosity, I think is what they are. Now we can, since we're exploring north, I think I'm going to have this guy come north and then to the west, and I'm going to take this pathfinder to the east. And as you can tell, looking at the map, it's multi-level, right? So you're going to have seashore, but it goes all the way up to mountaintops. And you can have cliffs, you have hills, and that really comes into effect in battles, which you'll see in the other scenario. We might fight a little bit in this one, but not much. So now what to produce here in the capital? I think this would help us grow. This would help us get gold. Gold is actually really important in this because it's how you can get... you'll see in a couple turns we're going to make a garrison here. And we can get a lot of really good tiles from it, and we can even grow Babylon to expand into this region. So what to get first? I think I'm going to grab tanning rack so we get a little bit more gold per turn. Although, it actually might help if we... Oops. We also want to place something like the astronomy house. Would be fun. And you can see the bonuses it's going to get. And so it'll include the food. We'll get 6 more food from working this tile as an astronomy house because it will work these two food tiles. It will use them. So Let's actually put that first. And then let's go like this real fast. And by that time, we should get to this bronze working. Now, there's a lot to take in. As with any 4X game, it can be somewhat complicated. But honestly, this game, they did a really good job making things easy to understand as you go along. It took me a couple, a decent amount of time of just studying and playing to kind of understand it, but it's actually not that bad once you kind of get it figured out. So we can claim an outpost. And we could put it somewhere like here, and it would work its expanding tiles, or the tiles surrounding it. So if we put it right here, it could be working this tile as well, which would be pretty good. As well as a bunch of food, so we'd have a lot of growth. Yeah, I don't see why not. There's probably I don't know that well yet where's the best place to put these garrisons and stuff. A lot of it will actually depend on defenses. Maybe it would have been better to put it higher up because it'd be easier to defend. However, we know that the scenario we don't actually have really war going on, so we'll continue to explore east. It's really cool how this, the landscape changes. It just looks very, very natural. So we found another luxury resource. I believe we got mercury, which gives us stability and science.
Come over here.
We'll go ahead and turn. Alright, so we have this army idle now. This garrison will be done in a turn.
Yes, sir. Will do.
So we could have maybe put the garrison over here on the river.
This way.
I'm not sure how the river bonuses are, other than the fact that it affects the yield or production and food on, so they're pretty good tiles. Okay, so let's come up following the river. Okay, so we could fight if we wanted to. However, I think we're going to focus on exploring until we maybe get some better troops, which would be really cool. And so here's a lair, and you can ransack it, just like you would an opponent's base or garrison or something.
Let's go.
So here's another curiosity and a sanctuary. And we got science from discovering that, so we can now go towards bronze working. And I want to put down actually this would be a really fun one, because we can also work this mercury. Oh, that's where it is. Yeah, sometimes it's a little hard to tell which tile this is since it's floating up above it. There is a line, though, telling you right down to that tile. Just kind of have to figure that out. So we discovered the desert. That's what gave us that science boost. We could, however, build another thing here. We could get access to horses, which I think would be really fun. So maybe we'll try and do that. We need to bring this guy north then after. Alright, let's end our turn. And this thing only lasts 30 turns, which is kind of unfortunate because as it gets more exciting, you start to do things, you just want to keep playing.
Yes.
So we get the curiosity, which gives us 5 gold. And then we can also ransack it, another 22 gold. Which we got 22 gold from this ransack.
Acknowledge.
Alright, so there's a mammoth. Want to avoid that until we have better soldiers. Oh, there's horses up here as well. And we could actually even make a garrison this far away, which is kind of interesting, because you can turn it into its own city with enough gold. It's really, really unique, but in kind of genius the way they've set it up. I don't know if everyone's going to like it, but I personally have really enjoyed this, and I think the potential of it is going to be it's just really exciting. I think it's going to be the best game. Alright, so we'll take a couple turns to work this luxury resource, looks like. Actually, no, it cost gold, so it was done immediately, so we're already working it, which means we can get rid of that, and we could build a maker's quarter. That has to be done. Actually, we have to bring the city into our city first, which we'll do it in a little bit. So continue to work on this, and probably get the tanning racks first. And the reason I want to get that maker's quarter is because we can really improve our our
Off we go.
production.
Over here.
Specifically, if you look, we're getting 26 per turn. And if we were to place this right here, we would increase it by 9, increase it by 8, 2, right? But if we get some of these tiles, they're going to be better for production because we have mountains, lots of production tiles. Okay, a new event. A melody for every occasion. In the teeming iconic city of Babylon, musicians are a celebrated part of the local culture with a long history and holy rites. They bring nobility to religious rituals, jollity to a palace celebration, smiles to the sick and ailing, courage to marching armies, and distraction to the gods. Alas, they are still too small in number, especially the good ones. And now word of their renown has reached across the empire. Lords, priests, commanders, among others, are grousing that their city deserves such artists too. How will you satisfy them? So we could spend 60 gold, which we don't have, and then we could basically build an institution of music. But I think actually I'd rather go muster. One, we have to. We don't have the gold because we've been spending it. And we also, let's see, if we click on this, we get food. Even if we focus on science, we're still in the growth. So I think that's actually better. And we could actually go convert industry and money to science, which would help us kind of really fly through the tech tree, which might actually be really good, but I don't see a huge reason to do that in this scenario, since there's no... It would be kind of cool to see how far you could get if you get to imperial power, but as of now I don't think I plan to do that. Whew.
Follow me.
Alright, so we got Old Horde giving us 10 more gold. Continue to explore. End that turn. I'm not actually sure. They never actually just attacked me, and so I don't know if they can just straight attack the creatures in the beginning. I'm not sure. I don't think they do. So in one turn we'll be able to get the copper. And we got gold. So we got bronze working. And so with bronze working we unlocked forts. And you'll see it in the other scenario, or castle I guess. And it gives you fortification, but you also can spawn your troops out there. So now that we have that, I think masonry is the place to go. It's kind of the production focus. There's a sanctuary we can ransack.
Over this way.
So now we get the copper here. So we're stable, we're under control, and if we had the gold, we could actually make this region part of the capital city, meaning we could put maker's quarters up here, which is what we want to do. Let's continue to try and run away from these guys.
Come over here.
We discovered that, which is really nice. We got carpentry. Now we're going to masonry. That's right, because we had to get carpentry before masonry. So we could get archers now, for example.
Off we go.
Let's ransack that for the gold. Continue to explore, look for more places that we can get gold from. We have 27, we need 50 to bring that in. So let's go ahead. Could get a forge. I don't think it's worth all the production though. Could get a farmer's quarter. And we could put it here, which would boost the science of our astrology house. That's tempting. We could also get our unique unit, which would be fun. How long? It takes us 3 turns until we get that. Yeah, why not get the unique unit? It's kind of fun. Alright, so music is not some sacred art for the few. Everyone should be free to pursue their talents. That's what we had to choose, I guess. So we got a population gain, very nice. So now we can make sure we're working the right things. And let's get some more gold per turn, I think. And now Babylon can bring in this city. And you can tell now we're working all these tiles as well. It really boosts the city's production. However, it means we have less control. And it will go down until we reach 41% until we can get more power, basically, more control into it. For example, we could do that by researching calendar and building the Commons Quarter. It gives us stability, as well as per adjacent extension. However, now that we have that, we could build a Maker's Quarter. And the best we can do is right at a 13 right here, I think. So let's actually do that first, because it'll really boost our production, helping us get this sooner. We can build as much as possible in this scenario. We don't have the gold to build anything here yet. If we wanted to get horses, which I think would be really fun. You can see how they work.
All right. Come over here.
Oh, beautiful. And the turns go really fast. I like forget that you don't have to wait like you do in Civ. This would be marble. I don't know if that gives you like any unique buildings or anything that you can do with it. I don't think so. Alright, so we got a carcass. Now this is the region of horses, so we could actually build an encampment here. Which would be pretty cool. The way this whole... I think I'm going to build it right here. I think that's a really cool place, like on this lake, right? Mountains here. And then we can improve the horses and get cavalry. I think it'd be really fun to do.
Follow me.
Gonna loop around, continue to explore over here. Look at the Maker's Quarter in 4 turns. Masonry. So the reason I want a masonry is stonework. So we get 1 industry on mountains and +5 on strategic resource deposits, which is a huge boost to the production here. And so I think I want to get that. And I think I will do it after we finish the Maker's Quarter, and then we'll get our infantry. And then probably focus on cavalry. With this done, now it finishes next turn, okay. We could also make this into a city.
Let's go.
Ooh, volunteers. So we found generals. Okay, so we can have so many generals, understood. To represent the challengers of logical support for armies, your empire must have a limited number of generals. Basically separate armies, although if you have to like start combining them in order to keep them together or keep fighting. So we could actually make a little army here and attack. It says we have better strength.
All together.
Might as well see how it is, so you guys can see how it is. Confirm the battle, and then so we have this blue region that we can deploy to, and I think we want to go into the high ground, and then we'll end deployment. And these guys are reinforcements, so I'm going to bring him on the high ground as well, so they can't flank us. Now we could either wait for them to come to us, because we don't have any real bonuses other than Mirage Strength here, and we could defend. And I'm kind of curious to see how that pans out. From my experience, the defending doesn't give you quite as many bonuses as it does maybe in some other games. Now we could finish this guy with the scout, so we have +4 combat strength from high ground right there. I should have shown that a little longer, sorry. So we could come straight here and attack, and we have 17 strength to their 8. That shows the approximate damage. Or, if you hold, you can come this way. However, oh, his movement is too... Okay. He can't move that far because he's infantry. So we're going to end the round. Attacked our Pathfinders again. And we don't get to attack with our warrior from high ground, but he'll still get the kill. So that's kind of a simple fight, but you can see the terrain helped, and when you have big armies, it gets, and the battles get bigger, it's really, really intriguing. And you'll see that a little bit in the next scenario. So in a turn, that outpost is done. We have an idle army here. Let's go pillage this sanctuary. And then let's focus on somewhere where we can get some cavalry. So let's get domestication. End our turn. Okay, we've completed that. Let's now get a horsemanship so we can get a scout pathfinder, hopefully. This is done, so we can use our gold to harvest the horses, giving us access to that resource. So this is the Pathfinder. Yes. Let's continue to explore. Away. Also, it's really seamless how you can zoom in and the map just kind of like appears. It's just really, really fun to do that. And then let's bring this guy back down towards this area so we can loot this stuff. Wait. Ah! Well, we'll just come straight to this sanctuary. Ransack that for the gold. Because outposts really only cost gold, though it accumulates per outpost. It increases the price. So, you can't do like, you know, an unlimited amount, but they don't actually like hurt your stability of nearby cities unless you bring them into the city like we did here, which is kind of cool.
Off we go.
Oh, nice. We got this Anorians giving us, boosting our science. And we can explore south. Looks like some really cool landscape here. We have this like canyon. It's like steep drop off. You see the waterfall. If you zoom in, the sound gets loud. Now, I think they could maybe improve the animation of the waterfall, make it actually look like a waterfall, but it still looks really good. I mean, the only problems I've had with this are like nitpicky improvements, not really problems. So we got horsemanship. Very nice. We should probably try and focus on turning this into a city, I think. So we'll turn this into its own city, and then we can use this to build things as well. And it won't destabilize this at all. So now that we've completed that Maker's Quarter, our industry, I guess, the production has really jumped up. Plus, 22 because of our exploitations and extensions. So really, really cool how that works. And once we get this, our industry will shoot up even more. And then we'll finish this guy and probably make a scout cavalry for fun. Okay, let's take this idle army and get... Oh, yes, yeah, that is a cliff. Huh? I was hoping they could go down that slope, but he can't. We'll just loop around. And there's pearls, which is another luxury resource. And I wonder if there's any strategic ones you can see. Now that we've got pathfinding, or horsemanship, I mean, so you can get harbors, which are really, really cool. Or we could go wheel and maybe get a chariot, which I think would be fun. Except for, do the chariots require... They require 2 copper, so we'd have to get another copper. That probably won't happen. Oops. So let's get calendar. because that's going to give us a fun event. Alright, so we get gold from that.
Okay.
Okay. It's like I'm sarcastic to my wife. Okay.
Off we go.
Continue to explore. We've plundered. Knowledge is power. And turn. So Babylon's looking really, really cool. And we're not really focusing on science as much as they probably want us to. That, in fact, so we went to the Louvre this last spring, it's winter, and a bunch of other museums all over Europe. And we saw some of the original like pieces of the Babylon like structure. I don't remember what it's called. And they actually, from a tiny distance, looks like they modeled it after the museum. So that's pretty cool. All right, we already got that.
Right.
We have 5 science there. So there is a way to chop, and I don't really know if it. I haven't actually done it, but I'm kind of willing to try, because it says you can cut forests, remove your forest from a tile in exchange for an industry boost. If you are in a territory belonging to one of your cities, or for siege works, if you are besieging an opponent's city, this action will require your army to remain at the same spot for multiple turns. Okay, so you can do it outside of your city. I'm going to try that and see if that works. So we can cut this, and it takes 4 turns. Provides no industry. Okay, never mind. Cancel that. If you're outside yours, it doesn't provide any industry. If we come, for example, chop this,
Over this way.
I want to see what it does. Got a population gain, very nice. This is almost a city, 2 more turns. Oh nice, we got another curiosity here. Giving us 10 science.
Understood.
And we found cocoa. Or coffee, not cocoa. Pretty cool mountain range here. That's the other thing. The mountain ranges probably could be a bit more...
Come over here.
Actually, let's come west. Like, mountain rangey, but they look really, really cool. And I like that it doesn't just make a huge impassable wall, too.
Follow me.
That's fair. Alright, we got some more science. Let's go to our next army.
Let's go.
Should bring them along the shoreline here. And the shorelines look really cool. It all looks great. I don't know if there's a way to twist my... like to change the angle though yet. To like give it, other views, but...
Yes, sir.
Alright, so if we chop this... 1 industry, 1 vision. So if we chop it, it provides 10. Yeah, that's not very good. I guess maybe there's a reason to not want forest though. Maybe because it's not as thick, it's only providing 1 while this provides 2. I'm not sure. But it's fine. Let's make sure we're getting a good research. I think getting... Let's do fishing. Maybe we'll build a harbor. Under turn. We only have 12 more turns of this, unfortunately. A new event. Okay, so the first calendar. The invention of the calendar heralded a glorious day in the Empire's history. Now with 2 major cities, the numerous farming affairs needed to be harmonized across the land. It is time to standardize this calendar. Traders must have an easy means of synchronizing their activities. By what means do you wish to track the days? So we go lunar or solar. Solar, the learned assure you that this calendar will better stand the passing of seasons. So it sounds like this is recommended by our learned. While the lunar, the waxing and waning of the moon, is something familiar and comforting to the people. So to go with like the scientist or the people's choice. Well, I think I'm going to go with the scientist and pick solar on this one. Plus that looks really cool. Alright, so now we have this city here in Mari, which it's under control and everything, so we don't really need... We could do a research quarter or an astronomy house. Interesting, but this is the unique to the Babylons. Well, this is what most people would have. And Babylons have it as well, which is kind of cool. Not sure what that looks like. Or we could focus on... could build a watchtower. Standing tall over the city watchtowers not only increase vision, but also allow nearby soldiers to be better coordinated. Now, it's a infrastructure, not... You don't place it, right? Gives you more vision, so I guess you can see more of your region. Let's get a scout cavalry up here, so we could get one of those working. And it's unministered. Okay, so these administrators, you only have a limited number. You unlock them in the tech tree. And we were given one. Maybe you start with an extra one, but we can assign him here, which it makes this region be under better control. So we could also buy it out. We have relatively a lot of gold. We could also always buy out this, right? So we can start working on this infantry sooner. I'm going to buy out the scout cavalry. I think building a fort here would be really cool. Just to kind of see what it looks like, you can see that what the castle is, and that would be a really cool spot. This cliff is inaccessible, right by the nearby things. Would be a really cool fortification spot. You can take this scout cav. Let's go ahead and explore east. They must only have one movement. Oh, and it's because they moved on to the river. I also like that the curiosities continue to show up. They aren't just like on the map at the beginning and never come back. Because they're not, you know, villages or something. They're just anything that you can discover. It's kind of cool. Alright, so we've got fishing. Let's go towards sailing now. Here's the scout cav. It still have 2 more movement. They can move a lot, which is really cool. And they can still, you know, set up territories and things. We need 140 to buy out these guys, but I want to buy them out and get some fighting done over there. Nice. So, I mean, just looking at this landscape, this map is just it's absolutely stunning. So we could buy this out for only to save 2 turns if we wanted. And that's not actually cost effective since we're only getting 18 per turn. But we want it done as soon as possible so we can fight as much as possible.
Advance! Eyes forward!
Okay, so we could do another Maker's Quarter, which would give us 10 or 10 here. Surprised that it's not as much next to this. Or, better, let's get a harbor. Give us 8 food here, plus industry. I'm not really sure how the... So I understand that that's like the exploitations, the number above it, what it will do. I don't really understand the big number on the expansion when you're doing it, so... So we unlock sailing thanks to that curiosity. Let's go ahead and get the wheel. And because the map is like cool like that, you don't have to have a mini map to take up space, right? Which is, I've noticed that they did that, and it's kind of cool.
Over this way.
Also enjoy the music so far, though I'm sure there'll be more of it in the whole game.
Yeah. Come over here.
We'll end our turn.
Follow me. All right.
So this city's here. If we wanted to give it access to, for example, to this and this copper, we could bring our scout cavalry here and build a garrison. I think we'd want it somewhere near like this river, or this wonder would be cool. I'm going to build it here. And that way we could even build a harbor here and that. Oh, and it gives us all the curiosities in the region. That's really interesting. I didn't know that. Okay. And so now that we've kind of just explored this whole region, you can just set it to auto-explore, and they'll go find all the curiosities, which is really cool. Here's our unique unit. They look great. There's big shields. Let's come on to the high ground to make sure we can position ourselves when we start the battle. Confirm the battle. Now, so we get this region, but they can start all the way over here as well. They also can come up this way. We'll start there. Alright, so we could... So we, as you can see at the top there, we have 22 combat strength, they have 13, and we'd have a high ground bonus if we attack. So we did a lot of good damage. Now it's their turn. And so these rounds go, and it's all on the same turn. And if you go through all the rounds, the battle continues on the next turn. And we killed the mammoth. Giving us, and you always return back to this place, the position you started at, where the battle actually took place, which is cool. Alright, so we did a chop there, helping us, I guess, giving us 10 production. Yeah, it is kind of not that great, to be honest. The chopping mechanic, I don't think it's very powerful. Especially when it took 4 turns. So now we can group these armies up, and they're just one large army, and we can go fight this mammoth.
Follow me.
Fort still getting work done. This is almost done. I'm going to focus more on exploring with these guys. This guy an auto explorer. Nice. We have no research, so let's make sure we're researching something. Let's get writing and end our turn. So we've completed our harbor. So we're getting a lot more food than we were. Still in growth. We can move this guy anywhere. Focus on production. Focus on science, which gives us more food as well. Now, so if we built the fishmonger, we'd get +1 money on all our coastal tiles, as well as +1 on rivers, which is pretty cool how that works. We could also build something like the Commons Quarter, and I think that's a good thing to do. We'd get a lot more order. Here is the best place. And so as you expand your city with extensions, and then you build a fortification, which we can't do, I don't think, in this scenario, it gives us walls all the way around them, which is pretty fun. So let's come there, go there,
Come over here.
and come here to ransack the sanctuary. So early exploration is going to be a big deal. Getting that scout cavalry is like going to be really helpful. Was this one done? Yes. So now we can spend our gold and improve the copper. And we can annex this region into this city. And if we wanted to, because we have the copper, we could get a chariot, which is pretty fun.
Stay together.
Now we're not on the high ground. If we had, but we do have rough territory, forestry, and I think that's kind of all we can do. If we can hit them while they're on the river, that would be ideal. So to soften them up with our heavy infantry here, and then come in with the warriors to finish them. They have flags, which I give them a bonus. If you capture it, you get the bonus from them. I think that's how it works. Now let's attack. Okay, so that now it's our round. We can attack with our unique unit. The leader just taken out, but we eliminate the mammoth, and we get 80 spoils of war. 80 gold. So it is useful to fight them, because you get gold from it, which is really nice. And you can use that gold to get more regions under control, more resources, everything you need. Like the chopping, for it to be like worth it, you'd have to chop a lot. But then you put production in that many units already. I don't know, I don't think the chopping is quite balanced yet. But maybe they did that on purpose though. Maybe they don't want to incentivize chopping, and maybe chopping becomes, right, I could see it being a lot more beneficial to chop in the late game versus early game. I could see them doing something like that. Okay, I guess we'll continue to just go look around for someone to fight with these guys. End the turn. Now we got irrigation, which gives us some more infrastructures we can build. So that, for example, we don't have a river in Babylon, so that infrastructure we just unlocked wouldn't be very helpful. But if we built it here, I think it was... this one, flood irrigation, +1 food on exploitations per adjacent river, which is pretty cool. So there's so many rivers in this one, it would be very helpful. Get a lot of food out of it. Alright, so what should we research now? We could go for hydrology, where we could build an aqueduct. Go for philosophy and get another administrator. We're not going to really get any of these, so because of the time ending. Okay, so we could spend 100 gold but get 2 population, which we have enough gold that actually probably is worth it. Or we could not spend anything and we could get +1 population. Let's do ascend and take the gold, and that way we increase the population here. Now, because of that, we're in stagnation. Now we're growing, and now we're getting enough production as well.
Follow me. Let's do it.
So it revealed a lot more over here. So we'll continue to scout out.
Let's go.
Ruined Shrine. The curiosities also, I think, change as you advance, which is cool.
Off we go.
Through the tech tree. I don't know that for sure, though. Ooh, we got volunteers, so we get warriors. Alright, so this city's idle, but we now have a fortress, which is really cool. That just looks awesome in its style, because we're the Babylon culture. The architecture is all Babylonian style, which is just... it's really cool. And if we click this button and we build a soldier, that soldier will spawn there. So if we wanted an archer, boom. Well, that worked perfectly. And now we have archers defending this city in a fortress, where the only way they could be attacked is by ranged outside or someone charging up this way. It's just, it's a really cool mechanic. Let's put them on defensive. There's not really a reason to send them out. We could build something like production here. All these mountains. It says that this is the best place. Or we could maybe get something like a market quarter. +1. That's as good as it is. I don't remember the per adjacent farmers quarter. They do kind of... I feel like they want you to build more farmers quarters, and I just don't really build them. I'm sure there'll be a really good reason to do that. +7's pretty good. +11, wow. +12. I mean, might as well try it out, I guess. Kind of just want to see, yeah, how that all of that works, but in turn. But it's cool to see your city kind of sprawl in a more realistic way than in other 4X games. It's really, really fun. Alright, so now we've completed the, what do we, oh, yeah, this right here. The, not cultural district, the Commons Quarter. Very cool. And you can build them all as many as you want, which it's just really, really fun design. You could build a Maker's Quarter, again, get the +10 population, or we could build you know, something like this. And it tells you the best place you can build it. So that if you built it up here, it would give us 7. It's probably important to build these every once in a while just to make sure you're growing your cities. Put these guys all on Auto Explorer. I want to see the whole region, and we get more curiosities.
Let's go. Over this way.
So once you're on a river, I think you can
Follow
use
me.
it to go a long ways, as if like you're on a boat, but to get onto it and off, it requires a lot of movement. I feel like we have a really cool empire going here, and it ends in the next, you know, this is the last turn. I just want to keep playing. I want to build up this Babylonian empire. I'm so excited for this game. And you'll see, it's even more exciting when it gets a bit more in depth. In the next scenario, it's mostly combat. However, it's still, well, intriguing to continue to explore and fight and play, and you're still going to manage the city, though you pretty much have to focus on combat the whole time, as far as I know. And the map is just really, really fun to see. If we want, we can push the gold out. We get this farmer's quarter. It's kind of cool that that's what it looks like. So it almost looks like they've styled it as in farms all around and housing in it. Just interesting. And if we wanted to build something else, what would that look like? If we put it here, we get +2 food overall, plus +2 science. So I see how those can use each other really well. It's fun. Okay, well, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you liked this as much as I did. This is the exit.